All right, we're going to dive into something pretty radical today. A new kind of data architecture that's built not just for machines, but for, well, for us, for humanity. It's a concept that's all about giving our most personal, human experiences a real voice in shaping our future. So let's get right into it. So let's start with a big question. What if the technologies we're building, these incredibly powerful systems, didn't just optimize for numbers and metrics, but for actual human well-being? That's the core idea we're exploring here. How do we close that massive gap between powerful AI and the very human world it's supposed to be serving? The heart of the problem, really, comes down to what our most advanced AI systems can see, and maybe more importantly, what they can't. They have this huge, fundamental blind spot, and as you're about to see, it's a pretty dangerous one. Okay, so check this out. It's like we're living in two different realities at the same time. On the one hand, you've got the world of objective data, things like grid flows, financial reports, operational logs. This is the language AI speaks, it's fluent in it. But then there's our world, the subjective world, full of things like community trust, our cultural stories, our actual lived experiences. AI is almost completely blind to this reality. And when it tries to optimize for one without seeing the other, things can go wrong fast. So how do we fix this, right? How do we give AI the vision it's missing? The solution being proposed here is a totally new kind of data structure, one that's designed specifically to act as a bridge between these two worlds. It's called the Pattern Contributor Entity, or PCE for short. At its heart, the PCE is a revolutionary idea. This isn't about data collection from you. No. Think of it as a secure, sovereign space. And sovereign means you and your community own and control it, where we can translate our complex, messy, human experiences into a format that AI can actually begin to understand. And what kind of data are we talking about here? Look, this isn't about your clicks and search history. We're talking about the rich, deep stuff, the tapestry of human life, your first-person experiences, like how a community feels about its local environment, the cultural meaning that binds us together, your personal life data that you control, and even your own observations. All of it held in a way that respects its complexity, and more importantly, respects your ownership. Okay, this all sounds amazing in theory, right? But how does it actually work? Let's get into the nuts and bolts and break down the core mechanics that make the PTSC so powerful. So the first feature is really clever. The PCE doesn't require building some massive new data hoovering infrastructure from scratch. Instead, it plugs into data streams that already exist, from your local utility company or your city government. Then it wraps a new legal and technical layer around that data, transforming it. And just like that, it routes the data through new sovereignty protocols, which means partners can meet super strict privacy laws like GDPR, like almost overnight. And this is the genius of it, really. Instead of seeing all those data privacy laws as this expensive headache, the PCE model flips the script entirely. It turns compliance into a feature. It makes regulation an advantage that actually helps build deeper trust and better coordination. The second key feature is true data sovereignty, and this is baked right into the architecture. Every single piece of data requires your explicit, digitally signed permission, what's called cryptographic consent. As the contributor, you set the rules. You get to say exactly how your data can be used, and, this is huge, you can change your mind and revoke that permission anytime. Your raw personal data is never shared, only the abstract patterns that come from it. Your privacy is protected by design. And this really captures the whole outcome. For you, for me, for all of us as individuals, you get to participate. You get to have your experience count without exposing your personal information. And for organizations, they get richer insights without the massive cost and the terrifying risk of breaking privacy laws. It's a genuine win-win. Now, this might be the most fascinating part of the whole thing. How do you take something as messy and human as a lived experience and turn it into data? Well, the PCE uses something called ontological conversion. It's a way of translating, say, a community's oral history into a structured cultural resilience pattern, or a person's health journey can become a well-being restoration pattern. It's a way to capture the soul of the story while making it anonymous and legally safe to use. I just love this analogy from the source material. It describes the PCE as a living recording layer for all of humanity. Think about that. It's like a nervous system for civilization, one that can finally feel and remember our subjective reality, but in a way that's structured, safe, and actually respects the law.
Now, it's really important to get that the PCE doesn't exist in a vacuum. Let's take a look at how it fits as one crucial piece of a much larger, more complete data architecture. This table lays it all out pretty clearly. At the top, you've got that objective layer for the hard data like financial logs. That's managed by something called the regenerative entity. Then you've got the interobjective layer for legal frameworks. But look at the bottom two layers. The PCE is totally unique because it covers both the subjective, our individual experiences, and the intersubjective, which is our shared reality, things like community trust and culture. It's this complete four-layer model that could finally give AI a full picture of our world.
So, why is this so critical at this exact moment in history? Let's bring it all together, because the urgency behind this whole idea, it's real. This quote, it really sets the stakes, doesn't it? We are building these unbelievably powerful tools, AGI, quantum computing, that will basically execute whatever instructions we give them. And if those instructions are based on incomplete, blind data that's missing half the story, well, the consequences could be absolutely disastrous. The coordination layer we build today is going to define our future. To just boil it all down, here's the value. For us as individuals, the PCE is a way to finally participate without being exposed. For organizations and partners, it's about eliminating huge risks and actually building real trust. And for all of us, for civilization, it offers a real path toward a more ethical, a more aware, and a more complete form of artificial intelligence.
And that leaves us with this final and I think crucial question. As we build the memory and the intelligence of our future systems, what are we going to ask them to remember about us? Will it be the full, rich, complex story of what it means to be human, or just the numbers we were reduced to? The choice, it seems, is one we need to start making right now.